Daddy gave it to me, and now it's broken forever." The small, broken voice drifted through the marble hallways of the Ashford mansion like a ghost. Dawson Ashford paused mid-stride on his way to the study, briefcase in hand, the words piercing through the armor he'd worn for 2 years. He hadn't heard a child cry in this house since the accident that took everything. He followed the sound to the servants' quarters, a part of his own home he rarely visited. There, in a small room filled with afternoon light, sat a little girl with golden braids and tear-stained cheeks marked by the deepest dimples. In her trembling hands, she held the pieces of a wooden toy giraffe, its neck snapped cleanly in two. "It's the only thing I have left of him," she whispered to the toy, as if it could hear her. "I'm so sorry, Daddy. I'm so sorry I dropped you." Dawson's chest constricted. He knew that particular flavor of grief, the way a broken object can shatter a heart all over again. "What happened here?" His voice came out softer than he'd intended. The girl looked up, eyes widening in fear. Behind her, Corinne Whitley, his housekeeper and chef, appeared in the doorway, flour still dusting her apron. Her face went pale. "Mr. Ashford, I'm so sorry. Juniper didn't mean to disturb you. We'll be quieter, I promise." "No, Dawson found himself kneeling down, eye level with the child. "I just heard crying. What's your name?" "Juniper," she whispered, hiding the broken giraffe behind her, as if he might take it away. "I'm 4.5. "That's a beautiful name, like the tree." He paused, seeing the fear in Corinne's eyes, the way she'd positioned herself protectively around him. How long had they been walking on eggshells around him? "May I see what broke?" Juniper hesitated, then slowly revealed the 2 pieces of wood. The giraffe had been hand-carved, clearly made with love. One ear was slightly bigger than the other, an imperfection that made it perfect. "My daddy made it for my birthday," Juniper said, her voice cracking. "He worked in a furniture shop, and every night after work he would carve just a little bit. Mama says it took him 3 months. He gave it to me, and then—" She couldn't finish, couldn't say the words that would make it real again. Corinne's hand found her daughter's shoulder. "There was a fire at the shop 8 months ago. Lawrence didn't make it out. This giraffe, it's all Juniper has to remember him by. I keep telling her Daddy wouldn't want her to be sad, but when something precious breaks, it feels like losing them all over again," Dawson finished, his own voice thick. He understood that more than they could know. 2 years ago, Dawson had lost his wife Elena and their 6-year-old daughter Magnolia in a car accident on a rain-slicked highway. He'd thrown himself into work afterwards, turning his grief into granite, his penthouse office into a tomb. He'd barely noticed when his longtime housekeeper retired and Corinne had taken her place, arriving each morning before dawn to prepare meals he rarely ate, cleaning rooms he never entered. He'd forgotten there were people in his house at all, living, breathing, hurting people. "May I try something?" Dawson asked Juniper gently. "I'm not making any promises, but I might be able to fix this." "Really?" Hope flickered in those tear-filled eyes. "Really, but I'll need you to trust me with him for a little while. Is that okay?" Juniper looked at her mother, who nodded, bewildered. The little girl carefully placed both pieces of the giraffe in Dawson's large hands. "His name is Jeffrey. Please be careful with him." "I promise. Jeffrey is in good hands." That evening, instead of returning to his empty penthouse or burying himself in contracts, Dawson drove to a woodworking shop across town, the same shop where Lawrence Whitley had worked. He found the owner, Marcus Sullivan, a man with sawdust permanently embedded in his calluses and grief still fresh in his eyes. "Lawrence was the best craftsman I ever employed. That giraffe, I remember him working on it during his breaks. He'd sand it so gently like he was afraid of hurting it. Said his little girl deserved something that would last forever." Together, they worked for 3 hours. Marcus taught Dawson the delicate art of wood joinery, showed him how to align the brain perfectly, how to use special adhesive that would hold stronger than the original wood. They reinforced the neck with a carefully hidden dowel, then sanded and refinished until the break was invisible. But Dawson did something more. He carved 3 tiny flowers at the base of the giraffe's neck, so small you'd only notice if you looked closely. Forget-me-nots. The same flowers that had been in Magnolia's hands the last time he'd seen her alive. "Why flowers?" Marcus asked softly. "Because broken things that are mended become stronger, and the cracks in our hearts, they're where the light gets in. Or at least that's what my wife used to say. I stopped believing it after she died, but maybe I was wrong." The next morning, Dawson found Corinne in the kitchen, preparing breakfast with the kind of quiet efficiency that spoke of years of making herself invisible. Juniper sat at the small servants' table, pushing scrambled eggs around her plate, her eyes puffy from a night of crying. "Good morning." They both startled. He'd never come to the kitchen before. "Mr. Ashford," Corinne began, already apologizing with her posture, "your breakfast is almost ready. I'll bring it up." "Actually, I came to return something." He pulled the giraffe from behind his back. Juniper's gasp was pure magic. She scrambled from her chair, dimples appearing as joy flooded her face. "Jeffrey! You fixed Jeffrey!" She took the toy carefully, examining every inch, running her small fingers over the neck that now showed no sign of trauma. Then she found the flowers. "What are these?" Dawson knelt down again, finding it easier this time. "Those are called forget-me-nots. They're special flowers that remind us to remember the people we love. Your daddy made Jeffrey to last forever, and now he will, even stronger than before." "Because of the flowers?" "Because of the love. Your daddy's love is in every part of this giraffe. The break doesn't erase that. Nothing can erase that. And sometimes, when things break and we fix them, we get to add our own love too. So now Jeffrey has your daddy's love and a little bit of mine." Juniper threw her arms around his neck, and Dawson felt something crack inside his chest, something that had been frozen solid for 2 years. Corinne turned away, wiping tears. "Thank you," Juniper whispered into his shoulder. "Thank you for bringing him back." When she pulled away, Dawson noticed her looking at his face with that particular intensity children have. "You're sad too, aren't you? Like Mama and me." He nodded, not trusting his voice. "Did you lose somebody?" "I lost my daughter and my wife 2 years ago." Juniper considered this, then held Jeffrey up to him. "Do you want to hold him? He makes me feel better when I'm sad. Maybe he can make you feel better too." Dawson took the small wooden giraffe, feeling the weight of one father's love carved into wood and his own love carved into flowers too small to see. "Thank you, Juniper. That's very kind." Over the following weeks, something shifted in the Ashford mansion. Dawson started eating breakfast in the kitchen, listening to Juniper's stories and Corinne's quiet laughter. He learned that Corinne had been trained as a chef in Paris, but had given up her dreams to care for Lawrence when he got sick, then to raise Juniper alone. He learned that she baked cookies every Sunday because it was what Lawrence used to do. He also learned that Corinne had been sending most of her salary to cover Lawrence's medical debt that had accumulated before his death. She'd been working 16-hour days, taking extra catering jobs at night, all while raising a grieving child. "Why didn't you ask for help?" Dawson asked one morning.
"Because you gave me a job when no one else would," Corinne said simply. "Because kindness isn't about asking. It's about giving what you can and being grateful for what you receive." Dawson made a decision that day. He paid off Lawrence's medical debt. He established a scholarship fund in Magnolia's name for children who lost parents. He started leaving work at 5 to have dinner with Corinne and Juniper, not as employer and employee, but as friends, as people who understood that grief doesn't end, but it does transform. One evening, 6 months after the giraffe had broken, Juniper asked Dawson if he wanted to draw with her. She handed him a purple crayon. "This was your daughter's favorite color, wasn't it? I saw her picture in the hallway. She was beautiful." "She was," Dawson whispered. "She loved drawing too." "Then let's draw her something," Juniper said with the simple wisdom of childhood. "Let's draw her a whole garden of forget-me-nots." And so they did. 3 people who'd lost everything, sitting on the kitchen floor, creating beauty from grief. Corinne joined them with blue and pink crayons, and together they filled page after page with flowers, memorials made of color and love, and the understanding that broken hearts, like broken toys, can be mended into something even more precious. "Daddy gave it to me, and now it's fixed forever," Juniper whispered that night, holding Jeffrey close, "because someone cared enough to help. Just like you, Mr. Dawson. You were broken, and we helped fix you too." She was right. Kindness had fixed them all. Sometimes we forget that the most valuable things in life aren't found in boardrooms or bank accounts. They're found in tears wiped away, in toys carefully mended, in kitchens filled with laughter instead of silence. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is to see the humanity in people we've made invisible, to kneel down, to listen, to care about what's broken in someone else's hands. Because when we take the time to mend what matters to others, we mend something in ourselves too. And that's when broken things, broken toys, broken hearts, broken people become beautiful again. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.